Okay, so hello everybody, welcome to our third episode of Through the Keyhole. And today we've been invited through the keyhole of Lizzie's house, and so we're in Lizzie's living room to say hello. I will tell you this is our third take because already as we've been setting it up, Lizzie's received 2 phone calls which messed up the audio. So that's the problem of doing it with somebody who clearly is very, very popular. So, hi Lizzie, how are you doing?
Hello, David. I'm absolutely well, thank you. I wasn't in the beginning, but then after watching many nights and being glued to it, I thought there's got to be a stop button here because I've suffered anxiety before and I don't want to have that. And it was because of the unknown. But once we started to see what was happening in Wuhan, it was like it gave you time to kind of get prepared, and I started ordering masks. I started buying more gloves. And what I did was, because I found out Paul Carr didn't have any, I rang him after finding his number. I saw him doing the garden when I go once a week with Jonathan, mask on, gloves, the lot. Only once a week, then I'm back in. I don't have nobody in my flat. If they come to my door, like Janet came yesterday with the Avon, we more than 2 meters away, with me gloves on still and my mask. And so I sent gloves and I sent masks to Paul because Paul being diabetic, I was really concerned. And the lad has to go out every day, same as Jonathan. So I did the same with Jonathan and give him masks and the glove, and we worked together with it, you know, and it was nice. But the thing that I've missed the most is going down that track where we go on my scooter, because I love to watch the magpies and the birds, and just saying hello to people. Me and my mum always had a theory, David, when we went out in the wheelchair. She used to say, a lot of people look forlorn, Lizzie. Let's try to make people smile. And people would be walking with a chin down and she'd say, hello, love, and they'd go, oh, hello. And we used to do that, and you miss that integration with people. Yeah. You know, because I'm a people's person. I love talking to people. It doesn't matter who they are. You know, I can talk to people, I've never seen them in my life, and I love that. And that's one thing for me I've missed. But as far as the lockdown's concerned, I'm pretty much one of these, oh, come on, get on with it. You know, you've got all of these things around you. There's all these people abroad. There's people incarcerated in jail for the faith, and they can't even think about Jesus. But I can get up and walk. I might be in pain, but I can, you know.
So one of the things you said at the beginning is you found in the early days you were kind of quite almost obsessed by the telly. You were watching all of the news reports, and that was kind of making you recognise you were a bit more anxious. Yeah.
It brought back the days of anxiety that I used to suffer. So I said to myself, go back to them days when you did suffer, and how did you deal with it? I mean, my own father, the reason I got into mental health is because my own father suffered an overdose. And I thought that's one leg of my care that I've never done. So he was dead chuffed with me. Don't get me wrong, we got my father well after being on Speedwell ward. But after over 3 years and having a CPN come to visit him, he was a different man. And he used then, because I'd seen it firsthand, he kind of helped me with my anxiety as well. But I mean, that was a lot of years ago when that started fully. But whenever it came back, I remembered Dad and how we dealt with him. So largely, dealing with Dad helped me with this as well, thinking back about what to do. Turn it off, turn the TV off, have little shoots of it, just get the headlines, turn it off and go back to normality.
And I don't think you're on your own with that. I think a few people on the Slack forum talked about that being an approach that they'd realised they needed to take to almost have a part of the day where they'd look at the news, but then the rest of the day where they wouldn't, because it is just lots of versions of the same thing, isn't it? Which can get us very, very
it's that repetitive fear, day in and day out. So I thought something's got to stop, because otherwise you're going to be in that state of fear.
So what would you say has been the hardest part of the lockdown for you, Lizzie?
Just being able to say to myself, right, I can go out today without having to put the mask on, having to think about it, just to be able to say, oh, I'm going to church today, as I love Wednesdays was my favourite day because of the meal, going round the knit and natter group, just that freedom of being able to go and then having to think you've got to stop. I can't do that today. That was the biggest thing. And also people doing things for me. I mean, my neighbour's been absolutely out of this world. And I'm a very independent person, but I've valued and so the many acts of kindness that's been going about this world has made me feel very overwhelmed, I think. But I think that losing that bit more of the independence for me was the worst thing.
Yeah.
Of not being able to just go, being held back, and not having my family in.
Yeah. And already you've managed to find some kind of good things, so that kind of new community spirit, people helping each other out. Would you say there's any other kind of best bits that you've found through this period?
Watching, you know something, you start thinking about things that you normally do for being a Christian as well. But I've been seeing the look on these children's faces on the TV and thinking about what's happening to us now and then looking at them, and I've been sending money to different places just thinking how lucky I am. Even though we're doing all this lock-up thing, it's still nowhere near as bad as when you see, you know, the little kids drinking dirty and muddy water abroad. So I've been sending money and doing stuff that way.
Okay.
And can I just digress and go back to the first bit of the question that you asked me?
You can.
Yeah, can you ask me it again? Because I've got that much to say.
Yeah, so I can say
what the best bit?
What have you found to be some of the better parts of this lockdown?
Being overwhelmed by what I've seen on the TV, basically, especially the likes of Captain Tom.
Yeah.
Now, he's inspired me because I'm thinking about the things that I can't do because of what's happened to me with my leg. But then when I looked at him, it kind of made me stand back and say to myself, well, hang on a minute, this guy's 100. And there's so much I can do that I want to do once this lockdown's finished. It's made me think about what other things I can do to give even more and more and more. And I think I've been inspired by that guy the most.
Yeah,
but not only that, the neighbourly acts. That guy who was a teacher that had all the rucksacks on his back from Grimsby was giving food to and putting all the parcels. Do you know, when it asked for all volunteers and it was overwhelmed with how many actually asked back for that, I thought, if I hadn't been like this, I'd have been one of them. I'd have loved to have done that. Yeah. To have gone out there and been part of that, because what I do in my flat is because I shouted the other day, is anybody in this block of flats? We need to clap, it's Thursday. Well, I hung out the window, but there was nobody else hanging out, but I could hear all the things going off and all the pans. It was wonderful. Yeah. And it was wonderful to be part of it, even though I felt alone in my flat doing it. But I'm clapping like mad, you know.
So some real things that have brought our communities together in a time when it could have easily pushed us into our own houses and just had us battening down the hatches and not thinking about anything else. Yeah. There's
been so many great things.
And I think it's really good. I think it's a really good antidote to that fear and anxiety that we're able to see some of those positives. Yeah.
I totally agree. So
what are you missing?
Warmth.
What are you missing the most, Lizzie? You've said some of the things around just being able to get into church, particularly on a Wednesday, and those conversations. Your family.
My brothers. Because one of them is 76, bless him, and he, like me, we can't afford to get that kind of infection. Now they can the younger one, because he's type 2 diabetic, but he doesn't believe in all of this. He says, no, I'm still going out. And I think he's in a bit of a denial.
Yeah.
Is it that young age where, I'm all right, I can let my friends in, and, you know, I've tried to get over to him, but I try not to get into that now with him, because it causes a little bit of a rift with him. So I found out, don't mention the virus, then he'll be okay, because I don't know what it's done to him. And he's sort of like in denial about it. Whereas the other one, he's like me, gloves on, comes to me door with gloves on and just hands me something from a distance, because they're both living here.
Okay, right.
I miss cuddling them.
Yeah.
And I nurture with them. Being my brothers, I nurture them.
Yeah.
And I came back to live here simply to be with my brothers. I mean, sadly, I lost my sister in February, but she lived on off Holderness Road. But, you know, if she'd have got this virus with having cancer, she wouldn't have survived. You know, bless her heart. But I missed the cuddling and inviting them in and having that chat. You know, they'd come in for an hour or so, watch a film with me, and we'd have a good old chat. And I'd say, oh, I'm going shopping tomorrow. Do you want anything, Roger? Oh, yeah, we'll do that. It's that warmth from your own brothers, your flesh and blood.
And maybe for you, even that they're actually so close is almost even worse, isn't it? Because they're not on the other side of the city. They're not living in a different city. They're living in the same block of flats as you, but you still can't have physical contact.
One's on the 9th. Well, I'm 14. Roger's on the 9th, and Michael's on the 8th. Yeah.
Floor 14. Wow, that's high. So one of the questions we're asking.
Is gorgeous.
I bet it is. How far can you see from there?
Well, where I'm looking now, if I'm looking through this middle window, it faces Richards, Warren.
Okay.
It faces North Bramsham.
Yeah.
Pennine and all around that area. But if I look through my main window in the living room, I have 2 big windows here, the big main one, that faces Sutton.
Okay.
And on a good day, I think you can see the Humber Bridge on a good day. But what I love about this is you get a collation of birds coming around your window.
Yeah.
And the fight with little things, you get seagulls and ordinary birds, and you can hear them at each other. I love that.
So you maybe have quite a different. You have quite a different view of the estate to most people, I think, Lizzie.
Yeah. And that's why I moved back here, because I was in a relationship in the 80s, and funnily enough, I lived on the 14th floor, but on the other side of where I am now. So when they gave me the keys, I went, oh, don't tell me it's 157. She said, no, you throw the doors, the other side 163.
Wow.
So I went, wow, this is meant to be, because I said, when I move, I need a church and I need the accommodation next to it. And because I'm on my own, I feel safer being in a high-rise flat.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's lovely in here, David. It really is. There's some lovely people in here. People go on about 1 or 2 people that do this or do that. I said, look, I'm a person of non-judgment. What people do behind their doors, I said, it's nothing to do with me. I said, I found everybody in here sociable. I'm a big believer in it's how you treat people, and they're the most loveliest people in here, even the 1 or 2 that take the drugs. I just worry about the safety, but what they do, you know, you can't force your ideas onto people. You just stop that sometimes and stop all of that. But as people, they're absolutely lovely. They really are. It's clean in here. We have on my TV, if you turn on to channel 800, you'll get all sides of the lifts.
Okay.
You can see in the parks at either side, so it's another good security thing, you know.
Maybe not the best telly,
I love it in here. I've missed my brother.
Yeah. So you've been one of our most active members on Slack. I think probably you have been the most active, which is fantastic. I know loads of people have loved to hear bits of your story and bits of your late night reflections. But if you had chance now just to give a message to church family, what would you like to say to the rest of church today, Lizzie?
If you're feeling fearful, try to look at what's making you fearful. If it's the TV, tune it down a little bit. Pick up a book, especially your Bible, and read a piece out of the Bible, and a most comforting piece of the Bible. Have a walk up and down. You know, we are going to get through this together. We've got the biggest person in the world, our Lord, that's holding us up. I always think, I've said many times on Slack about the boats. You know, when Jesus is in that storm, and we've been in this biggest storm, because none of us knew what was going to happen. None of us knew what to do totally. The government didn't know quite what to do. Whether they acted fast or not is another thing. You know, it's a big challenge what they had to do. A big, big challenge. We can't put no blame to anybody. But, you know, it's happened, and I think we can learn from lessons from it, especially about the PPE. But for people is get on Slack, communicate with people, ring people up, don't feel distant.
Yeah.
don't do sometimes what I do, going to Michelle sometimes. I've learnt a lot from this. I say to my friends, I don't want to bother you. But what I've learnt from slack, because the first thing I said to Tracy Richardson was, I feel like I'm taking too much of slack up. You want to see what I put? It's like
No
in
way.
a
Oh, it's
and
brilliant.
you know, she relaxed me, David.
Good.
She made me feel good then, because I thought, oh, if I'm helping anybody, because when I had my cancer, they asked me to do some talks, because they said, you've been so positive. How did you react? I said, well, one, I reacted with humour because I lost all my hair. I looked in the mirror one day and I went, oh my goodness, this is the worst it gets. I look like Duncan Goodyear. It can only, my mother had a saying, if you go to the bottom of the dustbin, there's only one way up and it's back up again. And then I used what you call a meditation method, where many times I was on the beach in Barbados in my mind. And I said, look, cancer, I said, I don't want you to come back and haunt me. So what I'm going to do is we're going to negotiate with one another. I'm going to put you in a little box. I'm going to go to the sea edge, and I've got the most beautiful coloured ribbon. And I'm going to put you in that box. There's two things I'm going to do with you. Either put you in my coat pocket and we never see each other again, so that you don't give me a secondary cancer. This was in my mind theory. And the second bit was, I'm going to take you to the edge of the water and I'll watch you go down and disappear, never to be seen again. And we've made peace with one another. And that's how I reacted to my cancer. So those was the kind of talks that I used to do, to give people the experience of how I dealt with it. But a lot of mine was humour, but that's hard to do for a lot of people. Very hard to do. But I just didn't realise how much strength I had. Mm. And because I'd always believed in Jesus, but I didn't actually take him into my life till 2008, till I got that knocking. And I knew, after all them years of hanging on to him like a Rottweiler, saying, you are here. You are the one that made me. I couldn't have just come here for nothing. You're the one that made me. You're the greatest person. You can do anything. And I hung on with that blind faith. And I'm saying to yourself, when you're feeling them doldrums, pick up a phone, speak to someone. Don't wrestle with it on your own. Yeah. If you want to go for a little walk, do it. But don't do things largely on your own. We all need each other. Yeah, we need another human being, you know.
So that real sense that we're not alone in this. We're not
alone in this. Please speak to your Lord as well. You know, don't just think I can wrestle with this on my own, because he's told us many times we can't do things on our own, and it's true. It's a big statement, is that, and it's true. But it needs us to communicate. And the biggest thing that you've done is found this Slack, because I found it absolutely wonderful. I really have.
It's been great to see how active you've been on there, and we've got plenty of space left, Lizzie. You're not going to take it all up, don't worry at all. And what's great is your messages only count as one message, so you get great value. You get great value for money. It's brilliant.
Oh, do I? Yeah. Well, I was finding things that might comfort people as well, because I've said to people, even if it's 3 and 4 in the morning, don't hesitate to text me, because I go to bed about 3 o'clock. Some of that's down to my tablets as well, and a lot of it is because you're not doing a lot. But I'm one of these, I don't worry about sleep. I think you make it up during the day. You know, I do that. I don't worry about it. I mean, I had no sleep last night because I was excited about today. Yeah. I like a kid, mate.
Look at that. So there is going to be a time when we'll be meeting again, when we'll be back together in the building at Bodmin, and we'll be back together up at Pennine. What do you think is going to be the first thing that you do when we're all back in church together, Lizzie?
Oh, I'm going to grab every one of you and hug you. And I want to be able to think at some point in that church that we could make a big book together and put all our experiences. But I'm also interested in how the kids have dealt with this as well. Not having any children, I'm amazed at children, because, you know, I've heard people say, I've got a 10-year-old, I've got a 15-year-old, I can leave them on their own and they can get on with things. But when people have got maybe 2 or 3 little ones, how have they coped? And I want to ask the children how they felt as well. And it'd be lovely to think we could get a big book and put all our experiences within that book. But the first thing I want to do is sit and talk to people and be a listener and say, how did you cope with it? I won't say a word. I just want to hear what your experiences were all about. Offload. Yeah. Now we're seeing a human being.
And I think that's part of part of why we decided to set up Slack, because in a sense, as soon as this finishes, we've got that story because we've already been writing it as we've been going through it.
Of course.
So it'll be taking some of the things on there and maybe, as you say, making them into a book that charts our experience.
Yeah,
you might have noticed, I don't know if you know the story, but as you walk into church, there are those 4 canvases with footprints on. Do you remember seeing those in the entrance hall at church?
No.
They're fairly big and they've got lots of different sized feet on. And last time we were out of church, because of the floods, one of the things we did to mark coming back into the church together, to look at the journey that we've been on, is everybody who was there on that first Sunday put some paint on their feet and put their foot on a canvas to kind of mark that we'd walked that journey together. So some of those markers are really, really important to capture that sense of community.
I don't, yeah.
So we'll be thinking about some of that stuff. Final question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Final question from me. Is there a song or a verse that you found particularly helpful or encouraging or needed at this time that's helped you get through some of this stuff, Lizzie?
I've always maintained, and I always will, and it resonates with me all the time, Psalm 23.
Yeah.
Always brings on to me. It's got such feeling, and it's not a big piece, but it says so much to me, and it's always spoke to me in every situation that I've ever been through.
Yeah.
You know, one of us that haven't been through so much grief and stress and everything, you know, but I always found Psalm 23, and there's various other parts. I love Proverbs as well. Proverbs really speaks to me about life in itself and how to cope.
Yeah.
And I found Proverbs, I go to Proverbs straight away with that, but there's many books on yours, but I would say for me, Psalm 23 has always got me through some of the hardest bits in my life.
Good choice. So one of the things I've really enjoyed hearing about on Slack, Lizzie, is you describe the new light that you've purchased, or kind of what you do on an evening in terms of lighting up pretty much half of the estate by the sounds of it. So I just wonder if you could give us a quick spin of your phone so we could see some of these things in situ. Oh, well, this one.
That's one of them. That's me, Angel.
Yeah.
I'll just pick up the phone.
Fantastic.
Now, I've got all my lights on here. They're all remote control, remember. So on a night, I will light them up. I've got me love there. That lights up in love.
We've just
the middle.
We've just lost a bit of the video, Lizzie.
Oh, yes, it's gone.
It has. Oh, we might not be able to do that. Never mind. We can still hear you.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Will it come back?
It might do. It might do, it might not. We'll just see if it comes back. But what I wonder if you would be able to do is, when it is a night time, so the flat's dark and outside's dark, would you be able to take a picture of some of those lights for us so we can see what they look like?
I've got absolutely loads on my phone anyway, but I'll take some new ones deliberately because of what you've asked. Let me just see if I can get you back. I've got you back.
Yeah, oh, here we are. Look at that. Perfect. There we are. Look at that.
Now, in the middle there, I've got the Last Supper, and if you put on at the side, it lights up.
Right.
I shall light that up. I've got some big, if I can put you down just for a second, and I'll walk over to, these are some of the lights that I collect, but these are all, when I get some things that you hang stuff up, they're all going to be hung down my hallway. Now, these are absolutely fabulous lights, but I can't. These are all like bright red. Wait a minute.
We've lost the video again, Lizzie. We might not manage to get the tour of your living room in today, actually. There we are. Yeah, it's come back a little bit.
I've got 2 of them, so they light up on a night. I've got all of these things light up.
Wow.
This is my tree now. This is not a Christmas tree. It's from, and you see these big baubles here?
Yeah.
They light up on a night and they're brilliant to go off and on. All of these rabbits all light up. Now, these are all my windowsill lights, and on a night they look absolutely gorgeous. Can you see them?
Yeah. Yeah.
When I turn round here where all my stereo is and everything, that's the light, a standard light. That's not really a Christmas thing, but I use it as a Christmas thing. But I like it out anyway. And all of these carriage things, they all light up as well. So I shall light them all up. It might take me a while, but I don't care because...
Gotta say, it must take hours to turn them all off before you go to bed.
Well, I don't put every one on.
Okay, fair enough.
I put the majority of them on, but I'll put as many as... Oh, hang on, we've gone again.
Yeah, it's all
Let
right.
me get back to you. Let me get back to you. What I'll do is I'll put the majority, as many as I can on, because when I put them lights on, they give me majority. It gives me so much peace.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it is about candles. I've always loved them. I've liked since I was a kid. People call me Magpie. I like anything that shines.
Yeah.
My friend calls me Magpie. Did you like anything that shines? I said, I love battery candles because I'm frightened of fire, to be honest. And when I had the cat, I dare have a candle type, you know, the ordinary ones that you light. I dare have them because I was frightened Bluesville and knock them over. But it cost me a fortune in batteries, really. But there's going to be a time I'm going to give a lot of these things away because I have too many. So I'm thinking about giving a lot of these smaller ones away to people, you know. So I like to give away, so that's good.
Well,
I've
thank
really
you.
enjoyed today.
Good. Thank you very much for your time.
I was really looking forward to it. You are a genius, by the way.
Oh, well, I might keep that
No,
being
but I admire you because you're so tuned into all the technology, and I watch you on a daily basis when we're in church, and you're so into what you're doing, and I love that about you. You're really good at what you do, and I just love that you're our keyboard player at church. You're an amazing family, and I just want to say that to you. Really, I love your children. I think they're just so welcoming, and they're so polite, and they're lovely kids, your kids.
Thank you very much.
You know, you've got a lovely wife. She's lovely. I love you all as a family.
Well, thank you for your time today, Lizzie. We will see you soon.
Thank you.
In the flesh, in real life. But until then, look after yourself, and thank you for inviting us into your home today. Yes.
One last message. Keep your spirits up. Don't look down there. Look up there. That's the future.
Thanks, Lizzie. Take care.
Thank you, and God bless.
Have a good day.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.